Hello, everyone. This is Phoenix from Maine, and today we're going to be talking about General Hospital and all of the things that happened on last week. I promised on Saturdays with the spoilers that there was so much that was going on for this week's period for last week that I would just do a whole episode on it instead of trying to cram it into the spoilers. So before we get started, please take a minute to subscribe. If you have subscribed, thank you very much. I do appreciate it. Please hit that like button so YouTube knows good channel for soap fans, and it helps out a lot. It helps build the channel. It takes a few seconds and it's free. Also, we have a membership where you get to see videos like this first. And the spoilers for we do a week in advance for the Zooms that we do every Friday. And we just have a good time over in the membership section. And I would love to see you there. I would love to see you on the Zoom. And if you can't make the Zoom as a member, you can always watch the playback. So let's get into General Hospital because there was a lot. So I'm just going to go ahead and get my thoughts on some things. I thought that it was really good seeing the relationship between Diane and Alexis, how Diane understood that Alexis just needed to work and she was just being supportive. We didn't have Alexis break down what she's been doing for the past 2 weeks. And that was good just to see another side of grief and how you can help someone without trying to coddle them and just let them do what they need to do. So I really enjoyed that scene. Also, we had Anna trying to think of any reason she could to see Jason. She might as well just say, look, just give it to me. You know I want it. Valentine's nowhere to be found. I need my is there a pool table nearby that we can if you remember Carly's first scene with Jason, it was on the pool table. But they have Anna looking real thirsty, demanding he comes to her office, asking him questions that she knows he's not going to answer. That don't even matter. They saved Sasha, so why are you harassing Jason? So, so like, if this is the beginning of a love story, I need a rewrite. Next is I have been defending Kate Manzi for at least a month or two now, and it's gotten to the point where every scene she's in, I hate. And now they've got two characters that fans have been complaining about in the same scene. I'm sure it was just a way to endear her to Sunny and give them more of a connection. But this accident really made no sense to me. And Christina continues to be annoying. We also had Michael, as I mentioned, I think in the spoilers, I had to say it. I need evil Michael. I need the Michael that wanted, to run Sunny into the ground. He's he sees his wife, who he knows has slept with his uncle, and they're all in each other's faces, and she's holding his face all tenderly. I need Michael to Michael. I gave Chad Dill props with his whole scene with seeing the baby monitor and how, just like Steve Burton did when Sam was passing away, he did a lot of things with his face without saying anything. And it made me respect him more as an actor because he just doesn't get a chance to really do a lot. Him and Willow have been boring as hell. It's worse than just waiting for paint to dry. So now they finally given him something to do, and he's still, well, do you love me? You gonna leave me? Was it just a kiss? So Wimpy Simp Michael is not something I'm interested in seeing, nor am I interested in seeing Drew be, he's just such a creepy guy now. Willow asked him to leave her alone, let her work on her marriage, and he's talking about, ooh, you're blushing. That means you're lying and you still want the D. Also, Jason, after giving him so much props for his acting the week of Sam passing or whatever, then we got him being a deadbeat dad. Danny is asking his father if he can live with him, and Jason is thinking of any reason in the world for him not to. He could easily say, look, I'll move into the Quartermain mansion with you and the kids while y'all get acclimated and blah, blah, blah. He could say, Danny, yes, I haven't been a father to you. I've been like a checkbook dad, whatever money you need, here you go. But, now, come on, live with me. I'll teach you about motorcycles and maybe give you a little job at a motorcycle shop or something. No, he's like, well, your brothers and sisters are gonna like miss you, and you don't want to leave Scout by herself. And really, really. And then they had this. Now I get it. They didn't want Robert to really have some devastating breakup of Diane. They know they're both fan favorites. And Diane is like, look, you still have feelings for Holly, go get her. I'll find somebody. So it was a little lackluster that, you know, Diane never had a confrontation with Holly. Like, look, you get the hell away from my man, B word. You know, I would have loved for Diane to, slap Holly one good time. Like, you know, like, that's my man. I'm marking my territory. They could have had some good something going on, but they pretty much treated Diane with her entire relationship with Robert like she was second choice to Holly anyway. Whenever the Holly came back to town, Diane was like, you know, uh, I already see y'all still have a connection, but I'm still here. Then we had deadbeat dad number two, and he's worse than Jason, you know, because he is trying to run from responsibility. And, we discussed this, I think, on a live. Luke was a good father. He may have been a lot of other horrible things, but we watched General Hospital in the 80s and the 90s, and, Luke, you know, took him out on adventures. And, before, Jeannie Francis left the show and he left the show at one point, they had them be a united family. So we saw that, he's had a father in his life, for at least half his life or more or longer. So I don't know. The whole Lucky return has been terrible. The whole Africa scenes where they're basically in one room for like a month, well, two rooms, the jail or playing cards for a month, and then when he comes back home, he's like, responsibility, kids, the supposed love of my life, can't deal. Hey, Liz, you're beautiful, but I got to go back to Africa. Oh, and then I don't, I didn't pull a picture of Kai and Trina, sort of like side by side or whatever. Um, but I just want to let you know this is a rinse and repeat story. I'm fine with it. It's basically the retelling of Spencer and Trina. Remember when Spencer and Trina first met, he like poured the paint on her at the art gallery. And now, Trina, the accidentally spilling the drink. So it's just mirroring it. And then remember, Trina didn't want nothing to do with Spencer. She was always mad at him. And, he was like a prince. And then you've got Kai, the football star that everybody's, fawning all over. I get it. It's like deja vu. It's like watching Bold and Beautiful. It's the same story being repeated. I'm fine with it. I'm glad they finally gave Trina a love interest. I don't know what's going on with Geo. Geo was originally supposed to be Trina's love interest. They did interviews about Gio being Trina's love interest. Maybe they feel they don't have chemistry or whatever. Or maybe Gio, Kai, and Trina will have a love triangle or something. I don't know. But I'm glad that they're at least trying to give her a love interest. And we're getting, some black love. You got a lot of that on the soaps. So I'm talking about throughout all four. So, maybe we can get some Angie and Jesse vibes from this. Let's see. Um, then I didn't like the scene either. I love Carly and Brennan together. I like their snappy repertoire. Uh, but they're sniping at each other. It just didn't feel right. It didn't feel romantic. It didn't feel like, romantic comedy type or anything. It's just like, okay, you're pretty, but now you're getting on my nerves. So we need to progress that. And she still doesn't know he's saved her. Now, this is another thing that happened where we had Lois begging to find out the secret of what's going on in the mansion and nobody won't tell her. And then in the same breath, she's talking about she snitched before because of morals. And then the whole secret is a morality secret about a wife trying to get it on with her husband's uncle, and she's like, holy cannoli. So is it going to be Lois that spills the beans that she just can't hold it in and then Lois is going to Lois? Another thing that happened was first Michael tried to talk to Sonny, but then Christina had a little accident. So then he had to talk to somebody. So he talked to Jason. And, he had a right to talk to Jason no matter what Ned said, which we'll get to. But I like that Jason, even though he don't want to be a father to his own son, he's always going to be a father to Michael. He's always going to look out for Michael. Ever since he was a baby and Carly was going through postpartum, Jason literally was raising Michael from a baby. So his bond with Michael is much stronger than his bond with Danny, which is why, Drew's about to F around and find out. So we also had this scene, another scene I didn't care about, because no matter how hard they try to make Natalia and Sonny work, like I know people complain about Sonny and Nina, and I like Sonny and Nina, but good gravy. Natalia and Sonny is like trying to put a square peg in a round hole. Either pair her up with somebody else, or maybe they just ran out of women to pair Sonny up with within a certain age bracket. But good gravy, this is just not working. They barely look like they would be friends, much less smoldering hot soap opera romance. And another thing I didn't want to see, I've been waiting for about 3 years for Jordan to get a man. I am tired of them trying to pair Isaiah up, Kim testing him with other actresses. They already don't want to show interracial couples, so why are they trying to like Kim test Isaiah and Molly? Yes, I said it. I also said it on my coming and go video that about, trying to ride the fine line, not wanting to upset conservatives, by giving them too much of like gay stuff and interracial stuff and everything. They dangle that line. They'll have these couples and then they won't show them again. So Isaiah and Molly, if they became a couple, it would be just TJ and Molly all over again, where they aren't together. They're together off camera for years, like a decade. Okay. So yeah, no Isaiah and Molly. Isaiah and Dex, yes. But Isaiah and Jordan, yes, please. And also the highlight of the week that people loved and couldn't stop, talking about on social media was Jason making sure Drew found out that punch everything. But what got me was the fact that a lot of people online were like posting videos of like Drew, back when Billy Miller was playing him, and he was kicking butt. Drew knows how to fight. He's a Navy SEAL. And in this, he was just Jason's punching bag. Jason didn't even have a bruise afterwards. Billy Miller would never. I just feel like, maybe Steve is like, no, Jason's not getting messed up. We ain't doing that. I can see that. I can see him saying that. Yeah. He gets a little push in, maybe a little punch, a little one time, but Jason's gonna mop the floor with Drew, period. And then Ned talking about Michael, why did you tell Jason? Well, why wouldn't he tell Jason? I know that Ned wants to sort of use secrets to control Drew or whatever. Clearly, that's not going to work. And also, what's not going to work is Drew is a congressman. So I don't know how the secret is going to come out. We got one more week. Next week is the last week of sweeps. So is Drew going to be dethroned? Truth come out by the last week of sweeps? Please don't let us have to wait till January or February sweeps. Because in January they have the new year, you know, almost like mini sweeps with the new storylines for the new year. And then February, we just jump right into the normal sweeps period. Yeah, I don't want to wait for then. Let's keep the storyline moving. Uh, I don't know what's going on with Ava, why they're not using more West Moore. It's like, okay, let's put her in for this one scene this week. I'm like, she's a powerhouse actress. Her and Jeannie Francis. Where are they? Why aren't they getting screen time? I need them to get screen time. Now that Holly's gone and Robert's gone, okay, screen time is freed up. And we need Ava to be in a powerhouse story. And let's wrap up this whole Christina court case. And I said this before, the easiest way to do it is just to have her remember what actually happened and let it do it on the stand. Let it be dramatic that she remembers tripping over the bag while she's being cross-examined. That would be nice. And people also are shipping TJ and Trina. I thought they were related, but when we were in our numbers Zoom, they're like, no, they're actually not related because uh, Jordan made Curtis's brother think he was a father, but it was really Sean, and Sean isn't related to Curtis. So TJ and Trina could, hook up. So what do you think about that in the comment section? Trina and TJ. If Trina and Kai don't work and Trina and Gio don't work, what about Trina and TJ? Also, I was so happy that they did give us an Isaiah and Jordan moment in the hospital where he wasn't sure he was going to take the job, and Jordan convinced him to take the job to stay in Port Charles. Another viral moment this week was Jason acting like he was going to touch Rick, and Rick jumped like, he was scared. People love that. But, in Baltimore, we call it bucking, where you just think, that's what he should have done and had Rick pee his pants, you know. Eh, eh. What's that bullshit? What's well, you heard me. Hopefully, YouTube didn't. You know what I'm talking about. Also, I can't wait for Carly and Nina to find out that Willow slept with Drew. I need this in my life. I need Carly to lose her ever loving mind and let Willow have it, followed by Nina, like, well, I had him too. I need Willow's eyes to be open that her perfect man isn't really perfect at all. He's sleeping with her and her mother. So I need these things to happen. I really don't want to wait till January or February, but I have a feeling that might be what actually happens. Also, Drew he is like now the king of sleaze. Even Rick shook his head when he told him the truth about Willow. Like, if Rick shake his head at you, you know you done messed up. And finally, we get our Casablanca ending with Holly and Robert. I'm sure a lot of you noticed like his eye, what was going on with his eye, that he's been frail, his voice, everything. That I wish Tristan Rogers the best, get healthy, take a break, you know, 78 years old. I've been watching on this show since the 80s. It's time to take a break. It's better to, like Anthony Gary did. Anthony Gary was in very bad health. By the time, his time with General Hospital, he was falling apart. Then, he went to Amsterdam, he got himself back together. Now, he's doing well. And Holly, she has, long C word, can't say that word on YouTube. But, it was time for her to go back to London because she only does short-term storylines. And this was like the longest storyline she's had in a while. And if Robert and Holly exiting, with their happily ever after ending, I'm happy if it ends here. They both did their job. Doesn't mean that she can't come back if he's, have ailing health or whatever. But yeah, she got to come back to tell Sasha she's not related to Cody because we know we're gonna get that around February sweeps after Sasha and found out she's pregnant by Michael, and that's my prediction of what's gonna happen. They already showed last week that she didn't want to do the radiation testing because, oops, she could be pregnant. So she's most likely pregnant. But with that, thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next video.